Okay, hear me out. What actually makes a Roblox game underrated? I'm talking about those hidden gems buried under the front page. Games that don't get the hype they deserve but are absolute fire. Is it the lack of players? Poor marketing? Despite an underrated games offering fresh concepts, high quality design, or engaging mechanics, it often goes unnoticed due to lack of exposure. In hopes of these underrated games making it to the front page, let's review some of them so you can find your next games to play. This game is a Soul-like experience inspired by the Dark Souls franchise and Elden Ring, with insane graphics that you will love as you stumble out of the temple. You will be encountering the first boss named Lord Elfi, Arbiter of Souls, and this fight has some pretty hard mechanics. The boss has insane attack speed and eventually activates his second stage when he reaches a health threshold. It changes his attack pattern, making it more difficult to dodge. Currently the game is only a demo, but the creator has planned to release the full game this middle of the year. This is a fast-paced arena brick battle, where you will gather a team and choose your desired weapons. On each map a shop arrives that allows you to upgrade your weapons into a more powerful one, or choose a secondary weapon that might benefit you with enemies that you might not be able to reach the further it goes. The further you get, the more enemies that spawn and the more crazy and fun the game becomes. There are even bosses with their own difficulty and can be troublesome, like this one. I hate him. That's why you need to be careful. Remember, you only have 3 lives. Boost Vector, one of the best racing games on Roblox you probably haven't played. Released around December 2018, Boost Vector is still one of the most fun and unique games on Roblox. Basically, you spawn and you race. While you race, you get shards. Shards double as cash, and with cash you get bands. Different bands have different abilities. All of these can get you more XP. When it comes to controls and just the overall, the game is pretty smooth. All you need is to focus on is camera movement. And remember to time in your jumps. There's also some camera settings if the base one doesn't cut it for you. And in between races, there's a chance for you to get mini-games. Mini-games don't give as much XP as races, but they do give more cash if you win. One thing's for certain, the devs put a lot of effort into this project, and it shows. The maps are a good mix of fun and challenging. The game is straight to the point, and there isn't an extreme learning. While again, the game is old. And sometimes it might not work as intended, but it's still a fun experience. And I say it even outshines some of the current games out right now. Perhaps the dead player base isn't due to a lack of updates, but time itself, maybe Boost Vector simply ran its course on Roblox and can fade into obscurity and peace. But if you ever wanted an example of a game with a lot of passion and heart, Boost Vector is definitely a good example. In this game, you get to defend the train you're on. Wow. You must defeat the incoming waves of enemies using 3 classes that each have their own role. Each wave consists out of different enemies with their unique vehicles. They will try to take down the train, and of course your goal is to don't let this happen. You are able to move through or on top of the train and shoot at the others. Make sure to not let your friends down by jumping off the train at the station. You are able to upgrade your classes or train defense with XP. This game is simple. When you're ready, get on the train and head to the many different stages with the roadmap. This game has one of the best soundtrack as well. It's quite catchy. Alright, you may know this game. It's another game inspired by the Dark Souls, but the developers of this game are going to need to do a lot of heavy lifting. I also should definitely mention the fact that this game is in early alpha, as they say, which means it's very clearly not finished. The number one thing is the setting in Derelict. An extremely strange game of hyper-futuristic technology and societies with a medieval Dark Souls kind of deal. When you start off the game, it's very clearly just sort of a Dark Souls-inspired Roblox game, and then you get to one of the second areas of the game and this motherfucker shows up with some high-this technology gun. If there's anything that can set this game apart and make it unique, it's the extremely strange setting of mixing these 2 genres. And just the idea of trying to take your medieval weaponry and use it to take on and successfully defeat opponents that clearly have much stronger technology, along with the potential ability of ending up wielding that technology later yourself. I just think that's super cool. I haven't really seen it done before, and I'm excited to see where they could potentially go with it in terms of good things. I think the very beginning of the game, where there's direction and a bit of a tutorial, is pretty well handled. I knew where I was going. It taught me all the mechanics I generally needed to know, and overall is just well done. The first and probably most important was the combat itself. I get that they were going for a Dark Souls feel, but the combat in Derelict just feels stilted, slow, unresponsive, junky. Like, I don't know how else to put it, and I think a lot of it stems from the extreme amount of end lag that you seem to have. Like, come on, now doesn't that seem slow to you? Anyways, the visual of this game is spectacular. This type of game normally isn't compatible with phones, but it does, and that's the point. I feel like this game has a big potential, and you should try it out. Another inspired Roblox games. In this game, you'll be playing as one of the Dark Divers, which is inspired by Hell Divers. Your goal is to defeat two main enemy factions, the robot dinosaurs and the huge insects. Complete the missions as you'll be fighting the main boss of each planet, and unlock different guns and gadgets to use against enemies. On hard mode, bring your friends with you as you'll be facing off an entire army. The game's honestly is so cool, with an amazing design and effort put into it. Wow, isn't this just beautiful? I really think this game needs more people, so make sure to check it out. So, those were some of the most criminally underrated Roblox games that deserve way more players. A huge effort game that I hope at least one of them caught your interest. With all due respect, every Roblox game has something unique to offer, and it's always great to explore new experiences. That's all from me. Subscribe.